appreciate you allowing me to speak here today. Happy New Year. I hope everybody enjoyed their time with their families and their kids. It's exactly why I'm here. I've never missed any event with my kids. I've raised two self-sufficient adult children who I'm exceptionally proud of. I'm here to specifically express my grievances with the Township of Perry PD, whom I've reached out to for over a year for help. Okay, just to kind of curb any future domestic issues that this township is wasting their time on. Okay, this is a lot for one address. This is excessive. Okay, I've not seen my youngest son since August as a direct result of the interference by Perry PD in my court-ordered constitutionally protected custody. I've been deleted as a parent by Perry Township due to improper procedure, double standards, unequal enforcement of the law, and violating my rights as a parent. My son did not communicate with me for 2 days. It was my visitation time. I went to the high school to speak with him in person as his mother was dropping him off to go out of town during my visitation, which is parental interference. I was not combative or angry whatsoever, but the officer, Lanier, who was gaslit by my ex-wife who wanted my son to stay with her. She's trying to take my time. And my son also wanted to go to the football game, which I completely understand because him and I had made a deal about the football games and stuff, and I wanted him to go hang out with his friends. But he and I came to an agreement, and his mother broke it for him. So the Township PD Chief Geist here believed it was in the Township's best interest to also interfere with my custody. Instead of simply telling my son he had to speak with me, as it was my court-ordered parenting time. You allowed his mother to interfere in my visitation without question, even go as far as record a private conversation with my son and use it to have me arrested without any critical thinking whatsoever. So I was arrested directly in front of Perry High School in front of 200 students approximately, and my son was taken off a bus out of fear that I was going to harm him, which was traumatizing and embarrassing to say the least. And who benefited from this? Did my kid benefit from this? Did the Township benefit from this? Did Perry Police benefit from this? Did my son benefit from this action? Or perhaps it was just one person who created the entire situation. Why is the Township wasting resources fighting vindictive co-parent battles? One person in this entire equation is very violent, who has fabricated events, and it's not me, and it never has been. I have not seen my son since August as a result of Perry Township interfering in my civil rights as a parent. It's interference as a result of, as a history of doing what's easy instead of doing what is right. The current chief following the previous chief's lead. Because this township has chosen to do what's easy instead of what's right, my son is being used by the Massillon prosecutor, Melinda Reed, to extort a plea deal, although she and everyone else knows that I had zero intention of causing harm to my child. This is the loophole you are hiding behind to legally be able to subvert my civil rights as a parent. That you actually believed I went to Perry High School to beat up my 15-year-old son, who I love more than anything. A very simple conversation would have curbed this entire situation. Why didn't this happen? Because the immature officer was gaslit and angry with me instead of taking 2 minutes to talk to me. He was far more interested with having me arrested. He was so easily gaslit because there's an internal DV warning on me. For what? Because the Perry PD rather do what's easy instead of what's right. I have a DV warning based on actions not properly investigated or followed up on. I've never been convicted of a violent crime in my life. Okay, I'm a state licensed professional in Ohio and a businessman in Ohio, and I have been for years. I've coached in this community for close to 20 years. My kids went to St. John Park for 8 years with your kid. Incredible. Incredible. Why? What happened that was so compelling that I needed to be arrested for picking up my son during my parenting time? Because I told my son over the phone that I would beat his ass for not listening to me, which is well within my right to have family matters remain private and right of child rearing, regardless of highly emotional opinions produced by a vindictive ex or a gaslit officer. The fact that you have ignored this for so long is atrocious. I have so many reports against me that you're all getting a commercial. I'm making a commercial about all of this. I'm putting all the links together for all of these reports, and thank you for the receipts, Mr. Matthews, I appreciate that. Although this isn't everything, I can deliberately show the double standards and the ridiculousness, and how, you think this is a good use of township resources? This is insane. And I'm gonna lay it all out for you. You're all gonna get this in a very well-produced commercial, okay? You're getting it all. So I continued to say, to make this all worse, 2 seconds after this, in a private conversation with my son, because my son tells me that he's 15 years old, hadn't talked to me in 2 days, and says I can do whatever I want. I can make my own decisions for myself. Okay? Teenager stuff, right? I didn't yell and scream at him and stuff. I told him, I'm gonna be, and I've said this to him in jest many times, okay? Not for 1 minute did it mean I was going to the high school to beat up my son. It's absolutely ridiculous. 2 seconds after I said this on the phone, I continued to say, 2 seconds after I said this on the phone, no, we are not going to pretend I'm going to hurt you or have ever abused you. Have I ever harmed you? No. Have I ever hit you? No. That's it. 2 seconds after this, okay? I didn't even yell at him. I spoke firmly with him. I wasn't yelling or screaming at him or anything like that. Then you proceed to hear the other co-parent, my ex, say, you're never going to see your father again, which is perfectly fine with Chief Geist, apparently. You deleted me as a parent. I've not seen my kid since September, August. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's a shame the effort that I've had to take in order to just show some kind of accountability, to try to have some kind of accountability. So I guess we got to have the public weigh in on it. And these actions, I mean, it's absolutely atrocious. You've shown my son that his mother can continually fabricate story after story after story that the PD will take up regardless of fact or proper investigation. You only care about your position, doing what is easy instead of what is right. This is a fine example as to why we have kitty litter boxes in our school. What a way to replace fathers. This is the opposite of Perry Strong, and you should be ashamed of yourselves. The Constitution of the United States does not contain explicit rights for parents. However, the Supreme Court has recognized that the 14th Amendment's Due Process Clause and Liberty Clause protect certain aspects of parent-child relationships. These include the right to care, custody, and control of one's child. This includes the right to make decisions about upbringing, education, and welfare of one's children. The right to privacy in family matters. This includes the right to make decisions about marriage, procreation, child rearing without government interference. Additionally, the 14th Amendment also protects against discrimination based on familial status. It's my job to raise my son. It's your job to stay out of it. I've contacted the township, the former chief, current chief, for about 2 years to try to curb these issues, only to be blown off. The former and current chief have never responded to an email or a phone call, ever. I've not been allowed to file formal complaints against anyone. How convenient is that? I've been to the police department countless times. I've been here. I have emails back and forth. I have them all. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I was originally blown off by the township, and then I was blown off by Mr. Miller after promises of future meetings and simple answers to questions. Then I was told I need to figure it out on my own. I have 16 full reports against me with false, unchallenged information pertaining to my ex and son. I've never hit anybody, a woman, abused anyone, or ever created any domestic violence whatsoever. The other party has a history of violence and anger issues, as admitted in these reports and confirmed in my son's messages with me and to me. With zero accountability from this township, only continued encouragement to keep producing false reports that the PD are so eager to write up with zero critical thinking involved. The inability for this township and PD to connect two dots is an extremely poor reflection as to the intelligence of the leadership. The fact that I'm labeled as a domestic violence warning threat internally shows how inept this department is. Your entire process perpetuates domestic violence instead of curbing it, and I bet this township has thrown away a considerable amount of money as a result of poor procedures being practiced. I have the cases. You're all going to get them in a video. The one was back from 2017, the same one in which I was called and arrested on in front of Perry High School, directly in front of the stairs, mind you, okay? DV, cause of imminent physical harm, unruly juvenile. Let's report 17-17-073. This person had called it to report on her son, okay? Her other son, because she had attacked him. She'd screaming, yelling, threatening him, put her hands on him, and is quoted in the police report, "I am going to beat your ass," because he disrespected her. Guess what you guys did? You removed the kid. You took the kid to juvie, okay? This same person has 16 different times that they've done this. One of them is against me for burglary while I'm coaching a Little League baseball game at Perry Park under the lights against Officer Watson's team. And it's in the report. And you just keep writing them up and writing them up and writing them up. This is insane. It's insane. And I hope you stop wasting resources doing this. There's better ways to handle situations like this, and I hope you sure as hell look into them. Thank you.